You're listening to Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. I am Turi, along with Marcy Persky. If there are any devices around your house that you can't use, you will welcome this podcast installment. We're still trying to figure out our air fryers. And you may not want to think too hard about all those things that are allegedly touchless. So I'm finding myself sounding like one of these crazy people who talks about the government. I'm trying to protect the government, which is a very weird position to be in because my kid had to go around the corner and get a quick COVID test, a rapid test. Mm-hmm. And they said, oh, well, since we already have the swab, we'll just take the full PCR test just to be sure. And my kid's like, well, didn't charge me anything. And I said, do you understand what they just did? They just fleeced the government out of a couple $100 right there. I think I must be nuts. I think I've lost my mind. I'm supposed to be protecting little kittens, right? And people who need $1 out on the corner. And instead I'm worried about the government being fleeced by people, by these fly-by-night storefront places. And we'll just have a full test done.
Up here, you don't get free rapid tests. You have to pay. And there's only very few places that will even give them to you. But yeah, you can't even get them free anymore up here.
Are you saying that in Illinois and Chicago, we're better at fleecing than you are?
We do live in sheep country, but you guys are better with the fleece. A friend of mine had an appointment for 6:45 to go get a test at a major drugstore chain. Showed up at 6:30, which was 15 minutes early. And they told her, oh, yeah, we decided to quit doing them 10 minutes ago because people want to go home.
I'm not sure if this is we're tired of being mistreated by our employers, and so we're just doing whatever we want. Or if this is we can't get any good employees and all we can hire are people who are going to do whatever they want.
I don't know. I don't look that deeply into it at this point.
This may
I just
be my
look outside.
Problem.
I look outside and I'm glad that I live surrounded by forest creatures and not people. Don't want to go anywhere into any city around me, even though there's only a couple.
I like going into cities. You can watch strange things happen. So I get reports like the streets are completely covered with ice and people are falling all over the place. And as long as I don't have to see anybody actually in pain, I can laugh. I was never able to watch the Three Stooges. And people think that some people think I'm hard-hearted, but actually I am such a cookie that I couldn't even stand to watch the Three Stooges because all I could think of was that really hurts. That must really, really hurt. And so if I get to hear that 16 neighbors are sliding down the street on their butts, that's amusing. But if I actually have to watch it, there's a big difference. I think the first time I became aware of this, the difference between what you can imagine and what's in front of your face, was when I decided that the touring company of Hair, the Broadway musical, was coming to Chicago, and I wanted to go see it because I knew all the music by heart. And my mother at first said yes, and then she did a little reading, and then she said no, and I said, why not? And she said, because there's nudity in it. And
I wanted to go see it. I wanted to see naked people.
I said, well, I've seen all the books. She said, it's one thing to read about it or see a picture in a book. It's another thing to see it right hanging in front of your face. And I didn't quite believe it, but it was only about a year or two later that I went to the Broadway production of Equus, which was the first time I saw a naked dude anywhere at all. And I thought to myself, I think my mother was right.
At that point in my life, I probably would have burst out laughing at a naked person. Just like I don't laugh at people falling down because I am that person.
And you can't laugh?
No, I can trip over a hair. No, I can't.
Me too. Laugh. I did them the same way. I fall over paper clips, but I laugh.
If somebody passes gas, I will fall off my chair laughing.
So maybe it's just anything that's a bodily mishap or function that doesn't have the potential for breaking actual bones.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Right. My humor is really basic.
If you can't break a bone and it happens by accident, then you will laugh.
Yes. And bodily noises are hilarious.
You would find our house highly entertaining by that standard. It's disturbing to have to live with it. It's easier in the spring and summer. This is one reason why I may end up moving back to California.
For fresh air.
Yeah, for the fresh air. California was a really great place to go through menopause also. You could just run outside any time. Although I was so desperate during menopause with hot flashes, I went to visit a friend of mine who lived in the wilds of Nebraska, and we came through there and it was like 20 below. And I thought,
Ugh.
this is good. I'll only have to be outside for 3 minutes or so at a time.
I don't remember having hot flashes because I'm always warm
This is
at
nothing
night.
like that. This is like someone accidentally locked you in a toaster oven. You know how
Yeah,
have you
see, I
ever
don't
watched the
remember that.
toaster oven? The thing about the toaster oven is you can see things grow orange and get hot really fast.
Yep.
It's like that. It's like the inside of your body is those coils in the toaster oven. It's not fun. Oh, speaking of toaster ovens, the spousal unit had a birthday.
You
And
gave him a toaster oven?
no, I gave him the gift that everyone seemed to be buying for everyone. I got him like a whole case of exotic beer. And then I bought him, and you will be so pleased to hear this, I bought him an actual air fryer, and it's sitting on our kitchen counter like an alien landed from outer space, and I have no idea what to do with this thing, but it's here now.
You know what? I hate to admit this.
You don't know
I
how to
love
use
my
it
air
either?
fryer. No, I no, we had an air fry we have an air fryer, and I loved it so much that I decided that I needed to expand the air fryer. It wasn't big enough. So I bought another air fryer and gave the little one to Eve. Well, this new one, this great big giant silver one that air fries and slow cooks and does everything except wash and style my hair. I haven't opened it because I can't freaking figure out how to use it. The
I've
other one was really easy. You stick the stuff in there and turn the knob. This, you have to you have to say hello. You got to shake hands with it. You got to tell it what you're cooking and when you want to cook it. And I've spent hours reading instruction manuals on the internet. The instruction manual that came with it, of course, is all pictures, which I don't know why. It's like a cartoon instruction manual, but I learned absolutely nothing from it. So the old air fryer is back on the counter along with the new air fryer.
Yeah, I have not been this confused by an instruction manual since the first time I bought a VCR
It's
decades and
crazy.
decades ago.
Yeah.
And now I am looking at this air fryer going, I don't know. I don't
I,
know what
I
it does.
will admit, I will admit to you that up until I think 3 years ago,
Hmm.
I still had a microwave that had a dial
Oh,
because I was so confused by the little push buttons,
uh-huh. Yeah, I
And
understand that. I do. I totally understand that. I
but yes, this whole air fryer thing, it air fries my brain trying to figure out how to use it. Someday I will, but in the meantime, I look at it and go, I bought this.
on
And
sale
so,
probably on sale, and it
of
was the
course, on
best
sale.
rated one.
Of course, on sale. And
Yeah,
so far, the only thing it's been used for is to hold all the instruction books on top of it.
I
So it's
understand. I
a
do.
glorified shelf.
I think we need to do an air fryer check-in and see who figures out how to work her air fryer first.
Sounds good. We'll have a contest.
When you buy a new piece of equipment, I mean, this is why I'm afraid that if I ever actually do buy a new car, I won't know how to drive it. I will not know. I test drove an electric car and I managed to make it one freeway stop away, and I got off and I turned around and I came back and I thought this was greatly anxiety producing. And I'm telling everybody that the reason that I haven't bought a new car is because I want an electric car and I don't think the range is good enough yet. But deeply, the honest reason is I'm afraid I won't actually know how to work it. And again, I still don't understand why it is that designers have to redesign things completely every time someone else makes one. And the other thing that drives me batty is every time I go to give a credit card now at a store, you don't know what you're supposed to do with the credit card. Are you supposed to stick it in the slot? Are you supposed to scan it? Are you supposed to wave it across the top? Are you supposed to jump up and down and do the hokey pokey and the peppermint twist? Like, what are you? It's one credit card. And now, what was that old commercial? Wonder Bread builds strong bodies 12 ways.
12 ways.
Yeah. I've got one credit card, which apparently can be used 12 ways. And I don't know anymore. And I keep thinking of the same thing I've always thought whenever this happens, which is whenever you go to buy a shower curtain, no matter where you buy it, you could buy it at Neiman Marcus. You could buy it at Walmart. It will have the same number of holes in it.
Yep.
And when you buy a package of shower curtain hooks, you will get the same number of shower curtain hooks. If they can standardize freaking shower curtains from here to Hong Kong, why can't the people who make this crap that I am trying to make a piece of toast with, how come they can't say there will always be a button on the right that is on? How come they can't do that? How come when I go to Trader Joe's, it's a completely different process to give them my credit card than it is to go to the gas station? Why is that?
You know what? Here's my credit card problem is that I go to a major bank. It's not some little bank on the corner or upstairs in a church or underground. Major bank. My husband is the same bank. We share a bank account. He has a debit card that he can tap. He has a debit card that can swipe. And he has a debit card that you stick in the slot and it goes.
Is this 3 debit cards or one that does 3 things?
This is all one.
All one, okay.
It does everything. This is what you're complaining about.
Yes.
But my debit card from the exact same bank only does one thing.
Really?
Yes, it sticks in the slot. I can't swipe anything. And now a lot, because of the certain illnesses going around, a lot of gas stations particularly want you to use the touch thing, where you just swipe your card next to it.
Yours won't do that.
Mine doesn't do that. Nope. And I don't know why they gave me the old fangled card and why this little punk who just turned 50 is getting the newfangled card.
Did you just call your husband a little punk?
He is. He just turned 50.
Well, okay. So let me just back you up a second because I want to speak about these places that think that they're so clever with no touch this and no touch that. If you really wanted to, you can get virus on anything, no matter how clever they think they're being. Sooner or later, somebody's got to touch it.
Yep.
Sooner or later. This is what I feel like saying, like, oh, no, we're completely touchless. I'm like, really? What do you levitate these fries into this bag using only your brain? I don't think so. Completely touchless.
There's no such thing as completely touchless.
Yeah. I'm flabbergasted at the terminology that people are willing to put up with. And again, I'm fighting the wrong battles. It's like I started out saying I wanted to protect the government from extra stupid PCR tests. And now I'm saying that I want to protect the world from stupid terminology that they're apparently perfectly happy to go along with. When you hear somebody say we're completely touchless, you should object. Everyone should object. I'm the only one going, no, you're not. And then I think I'm cranky now. I've become a get off my lawn person. And all I'm trying to do is point out that you're not completely touchless.
I wonder, this just lit a light bulb over my head. I'm wondering what if I kept a bag or a box of sandwich bags in my car and stuck my card inside a sandwich bag and then shoved it in the little slot. If that would protect me from getting somebody else's illness that also had to use a slot because their card doesn't swipe.
No.
I should go on Shark Tank and invent that.
A condom for your card? A card condom?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, no. I think that's called an alcohol spray. I think that's what you want there. Spritz of alcohol, just a little spritz. While you're at it, if you're really phobic, just spray the whole card holder. I've seen people mostly early in COVID, but still sometimes making just a religion out of spraying things and wiping them down.
And that get you out of a ticket for driving with, open bottle of alcohol? Like, officer, I was using this Jägermeister to disinfect the gas nozzle at the gas station.
Only you would try that.
I really would.
Thanks for listening to Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. If you'd like to do us a great favor, please leave us a good review wherever you hear this podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Turi Ryder's She Said What. And you might also enjoy my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air, which you can find any place you buy your books or on Amazon.